Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right.
We are Pat and JT. It's Pat and JT, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. 402-403-9478. We did get a text from Julie, and it actually kind of goes to what I was going to say quickly this morning. She said it doesn't feel like it has been and is going to be Christmas soon. And sitting in my house this morning before work, I'm at the table and I'm thinking, I can't. It seems like we just put the Christmas decorations out. Doesn't feel like we've celebrated at all. And they're going to go back probably on Sunday, back in the closet under the stairs. It's weird.
I was thinking that too, because the Christmas lights outside. It's like, well, my lights, see, one more week.
Right? It's so
I might leave
weird.
them up till New Year's. I don't know. I mean, turn them on, as far as having them up. But I think I've actually, seen them 4 times since I've had them on, since right before Thanksgiving, a little bit before Thanksgiving, because I'm never out in front of my house after dark, I swear to God. And so I never get to see it in the morning. They're not on when I leave. So it is just so odd. But I remember it being this way. I remember other years when this kind of happened where, like, especially my birthday, thinking around that time, mid-December, a lot of times there was never snow on the ground when my birthday would roll around. Christmas without, usually it almost seems like Christmas with snow was more unusual. Mm-hmm. And it seems though we've had several Christmases with a little bit of something, the last few years. We've had a couple of real doozy storms, but February seems to be the bitch.
Mm-hmm. And that may end up being the title of today's show. February could be the bitch.
It just feels like in general, it's like you kind of lulled into this. Well, okay, we're only 60 days out. We're going to be fine. Whoop. And then,
yeah,
then it just nails you. So, your weekend, anything exciting? Haven't talked to you in a couple days.
I know. No, nothing. I mean, nothing crazy. We had
Have you guys started watching Yellowstone at all?
No, we're going to wait till after, because Beth's got a crazy work schedule, not crazy, but a random work schedule this week and just kind of things back and forth with work. So we haven't had a chance to really sit down and watch for multiple hours. So we're going to wait till between Christmas and New Year. Yeah.
Because they got, the three seasons are out. They're free. But the 4th season, there's another new episode the day after Christmas. I think there's 2 episodes left on the season.
Okay, so I have a feeling that, and this is 4th season. Is that right?
Yeah.
Season 4? Okay, so there's no way I'll burn through that before those next 2 episodes are out. So I was going to say I'll wait till the whole season's done, but no, we can start.
Yeah, because season 4 will be out in January, free. But they started, 1883 started last night, as we speak on Sunday night. And it's brutal. He is basically what they said. There was a little preamble about Taylor Sheridan talking about that show. And he said he basically wrote it as a novel and then they put it together. It was just, and it is detailed and it is about as true of a portrayal of what was going on, as far as the pioneers and coming across from Texas. They were going from Texas to Montana. And some of the stuff that they ran into and just the characters that are in it. And there's a really good character played by Billy Bob Thornton that I did not expect. Didn't know he was in it. And he is take no prisoners kind of dude. And he's based on a real life character who was a sheriff at the time in Dallas. Courtright, I think is his name. But when that sheriff comes on the screen, you're going to be like, whoa, dude.
I love him.
Just he's cold and he's good.
There are like a handful of dudes that he's just cool. I don't care what he does. Just the way
he's as weird as shit. But
he is so weird. Maybe that's what makes him cool. Because he's just so weird and the way he talks and I don't know. He's just a stud. I love him. Yeah.
Yeah. His character. And that was unexpected because I didn't know he was part of this, or maybe I just kind of glossed over it or something. But all of a sudden I'm like, wait, whoa, is that Billy Bob? And yeah.
BBT.
It was really good. So be watching for that.
I did have something funny happen yesterday morning before I forget, because I know I'll forget. So yeah, Sunday morning. Sunday morning as we speak. Monday. Yesterday morning, I'm sitting. I get up in the house. I'm always the first one up. Obviously, we've talked about that before, and I'm definitely up before Sophia ever even thinks about getting up. So I'm sitting up. It's like 7:30, having coffee, whatever, screwing around, probably on TikTok, I'm sure. And she comes staggering out of her bedroom, like wide awake. Hey, Dad, what's up? I'm like, first of all, do you feel okay? What's going on? What is there a fire in your room? She comes out, sits, and she talks, and she's like, "Oh, I don't have anything to do till 1. I'm up, can't go to sleep." I'm like, well, because she had some homework she needed to finish. So I'm like, well, do you want to go work on your homework now? She's like, yeah, let's do that. Like, she was excited.
You're a blast. First
Right?
thing, let's go work on homework.
And so, but it was kind of a fun thing. They had a project or something where they had to interview someone in their life to see how good you know each other. Like, ask the same questions back and forth. So she filled out what she thought I would answer to some of these questions. We ended up doing very well. Apparently I know my daughter pretty well. But there was one question where she asked me my favorite TV show. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, okay. So
I know what I would say.
Well, and I told her, I'm thinking. That was like one of the first questions. And I said, let's pause on that one till the end. I got to think. So we get all the way done. And I'm like, okay, so on this whole TV show thing, I'm like, listen, if I tell you what my true favorite TV show is, they're going to think I'm the biggest weenie. I didn't say that, but they're going to think I'm the biggest weirdo. And she's like, well, Dad, the show I put down makes you look like a really, really weird person. I'm like, well, a man. She goes, a weird man. I'm like, what? Yeah. Okay. She goes, what's your favorite show? And I told her. And she goes, okay, well, I had you down as Married at First Sight. I'm like, dude, you have got to scratch that off. I'm like, I like that show, but it is not my favorite show. And if you say that your father likes Married at First Sight as his favorite show, like, you got to know me better than that.
I'm going to say no. And trust me, it's a hard one, actually, because I could see where people could go, oh, it's got to be a Bravo show. It's got to be one of the ladies of whatever. Mm-hmm. And then Sopranos, of course, comes up too. But I have to say it's probably a Jack Ritter that I would have to go with.
And I didn't even think about that. And I didn't even think about that.
Be one that I would, Ritter and Sopranos, oddly, would be the top two. Yeah, that I would go with.
And I was thinking Real Time. I wasn't even thinking that, because that would have been a much better. Both of those, Three's Company, Sopranos, would have been two much better answers.
So I answered better than you answered about yourself.
Yes, you did. Yeah, because when she said it, I was thinking Real Time, shows that are on now. I'm like, what? Okay, it's all literally Housewives. It's all Housewives. That's all I watch. That's all I watch.
Ladies of whatever.
And I think I ended up saying Below Deck, because I do love Below Deck. So I went with a more butchy Bravo show.
So you lied.
Well, but I do like it. I love it. It is one of my favorite. It's my favorite. It is one of my favorite shows.
What is it?
Below Deck.
It is your favorite. I can see where it's one of, but I wouldn't put it in the top 5.
Of the shows that are on right now, it is.
Okay.
But not all time. It's not in the Hall of Fame, but it's of my favorite shows that are on right now. But that and Real Housewives of Salt Lake, because because of
not just Real Housewives, Salt Lake.
Yeah, because of Jen Shaw and the debauchery going on there. I mean, there's a show where on this show, if somebody came to you and said, there's a movie that I want to take you to right now, let's go. There's a lady who stole and scammed old people out of money. Another one married her grandpa and people worship her like she's a god in her church. And another one, her son has a clothing line that's doing very well, but yet in real life, it looks like her boobs are not just fake, like fake boobs, but like her whole lower body is plastic. You'd be in line to see that movie in a heartbeat. This is on every week.
How'd they find that in Salt Lake City? Seriously.
Right? Yeah.
Holy crap. I'm surprised they haven't been run out of town.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, I do have, let me find it real quick. I have a new product alert for you.
Okay.
And I bought it this weekend.
Uh-oh.
And it's a company called Old Smokey.
Okay.
OLE, oldsmokey.com.
Okay.
Old Smokey Tennessee Moonshine Pickles.
What? It's not. That is like the weirdest sentence. So it's pickles soaked in moonshine?
Yes.
So you get hammered and you smell and you eat pickles.
There are jar of pickles in it, like when you buy a jar of pickles and it's just in pickle juice. This is pickle you juice.
Pickle you. So
I came up with that, by the way.
Well, that's pretty good. So that is that sounds. I mean, that's interesting. Is there any pickle taste at all?
I've only had one bite because I'm scared of them.
Yeah.
But I made a hell of a Bloody Mary.
I bet it. Of the two of us, you're the only one that's had actual real moonshine. So did it taste like actual real moonshine?
Mm-hmm. It's the real deal. And they've got on their website, they've got all different kinds of great products and different kinds of moonshine and different kinds of other products as well.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance to check it out, I wish I was an affiliate. I'm going to try to. But but they had it at Baker's, and I saw it online, and I was like, oh my God, that looks like that would make the best.
Oh, I bet it would.
Bloody Mary.
And did it? You tried
ever.
it?
Yes, I did.
And it was good.
It did. I had one, and I was like, whoa, okay. But it's so good. I'll send you a picture of what they look like. We can use it today.
We'll use that as the show art. That'll be the picture of our show of your pickle, whatever. Of your
pickle juice. 40 proof, man.
Oh man.
It's the real deal, and they've got so many different products. It's really good.
And where did you see this initially?
I just saw it somewhere online, and I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" Of course, the ads, they're tailored, right?
Yes, they know exactly what we're looking for. They know exactly.
So let's shoot the old Smoky Tennessee moonshine page to JT and see what she can do with this.
Okay, so everybody knows everybody's on TikTok way too much. If you're not, you should be. So this past week, I was talking to somebody about TikTok in general, and they made a great statement. And this is going to lead into an ad or a video I saw and an amazing thing that I saw on TikTok. But she made this comment that said TikTok is the new radio, because TikTok isn't like with Instagram and Facebook. They feed you what Facebook and Instagram want to feed you. They feed you things. But on TikTok, it's the algorithm, and you kind of, depending on what you like, what you watch, the length of time you watch these videos, it kind of creates your own little playlist of things you like. Mm-hmm. So it brings you this stuff. So it's kind of like the new radio, which I thought that's fantastic. That's a great analogy. And
it kind of is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, other than, you can go to iTunes and you can click on a playlist somebody curated, but they curated it, So on TikTok, you're kind of creating your own environment.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting.
I can see that. And the neat thing, like many people have talked about with radio, used to be that you relied upon someone else to be the gatekeeper and decide what new music you heard. Right. And for a lot of the kids, because it's their own preferences that it's kind of following, that's how they're discovering new music, new to them, new music. And that's why some artists from 20 years ago, a la TLC, became instant sensations. It's like, oh, this song's really cool. It's like, that's really old. Mm-hmm. And that is awesome, because that's the only way they're going to hear some of this music, because before it was you had no choice. If you were on that channel or whoever was in charge of the radio, that's what you were going to
had to listen to it.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then my TikTok radio brings me a ton of stuff. One of them, it's always iPhone hacks. It's recipes. It's people making whatever. They think I'm keto, and I'm not. But there's this one video, and it was a hack. They're like, I can't believe I didn't know this until now, whatever. And I tried it this weekend, and it works. Mm-hmm. When you go to a gas pump, I don't know how many people have ever. Now I just go in, I just fill my tank up. Beth has taught me, just fill your tank up. I used to put like $20 here, $10, even if I had money. I'm like, I just want 10 on 5, whatever.
Because you're not patient. That's why you didn't want to wait till it filled up.
100%.
I get it. Yes.
Yeah. So I've learned now, I just fill it up. But if you do want to prepay at the pump without having to go inside, there's a hack on these pumps. And I didn't know this, but it works. That when you go up and you see that initial screen, and you push, I'm not sure it's the bottom 2 buttons on the pad.
So probably the pound and
star, I think, whatever those bottom 2 on the keypad are, push those and hold them in, and it brings up a prepay option, and you can enter the amount you want, hit enter, swipe your card, and it'll stop the pump at that amount. And it works.
Brilliant. Which is brilliant. Because then it avoids that whole scenario where you're trying to hit zeros.
Yes, right, exactly. think. And if you're OCD and you go to 1, you're like, and you go up to 25, or you have to go to an even number or whatever. Yeah.
The squeeze, man. That's right. That would alleviate a lot of stress.
It would.
I'm going to have to look into that. Yeah. I will double check that next time.
But
yes, filling the tank, always fill the tank up. Just fill it up. And don't let it get below 0 or below half.
Okay, I don't follow
And I
that
know-
rule, but when I am below, when I'm ready to go to get gas, I just fill it up.
That's all right. That's good. Let's see. What else this weekend? I'm trying to think of what else that I did really. Oh, my mom and dad's anniversary was this weekend. So we went out to eat at Hurrdat's. And we sat right outside the buffet room, which, you know, where the little buffet room and the dining room where it's just like, and if you don't know, there is a little enclave where there's a table and a setup, and that is reserved so that Buffett and or his people, whenever they come in, they always have a table, no matter what. And it's like, and then they were taking the cardboard cutout around, and people were taking pictures with it.
That's funny.
They had a band. It was packed. It was packed. It was crazy. Oh my God.
I've been there for a minute, but it's so good.
12, I got the prime rib, which was amazing. And I ate the whole thing. It was 12 ounces, and I was really proud of myself. I took everything else home with me because I couldn't eat anything else. I just ate the meat. Oh my God.
So good.
But yeah, they have the best onion rings too.
I don't think I've ever had their onion rings.
The bruschetta and onion rings is what we got as appetizers, and it was really good. So it was fun. Had a great time. We were talking about it. Actually, there was a stupid little side note, because obviously Facebook knows what I'm doing. Was it who posted it? I think it was actually Omaha History that posted it. It was a story about Hurrdat's and how it started that posted Saturday morning, oddly.
That's
and
weird.
Right, the whole story, because they've been there a little over 80 years, or right about 80 years is how long that restaurant's been there. But the story of how it got started and where they first were, and then that land came for sale, that 49th and Center where they're at now.
Yeah.
And that was a number of years ago when that came up for sale, and Louis Hurrdat bought it. And then they lived upstairs and they had the restaurant downstairs. And apparently too, one of the women that were with us as a dear friend of my mom's, and she said she remembers going there when she was young, and her favorite thing was the fried parsley. And I'm like, what? And lo and behold, it's still on the menu. And it's kind of like when you have fried Brussels sprouts, or when you have, when you've had those things like at Blue. I wanted to get it, but we'd already had the appetizer and we moved on to the salads and stuff. And I'm like, that's something I want to try, because I bet it's really good, because it's fried and then it's seasoned.
Yeah.
Just kind of like along those same lines. Because, that was kind of a surprise when you found out you liked grilled or baked or whatever you want to call it. But it's not fried. I think it's baked parsley. And, parsley is like decorative for most people. It's just something that is used to put some green on the table. But apparently it's really good, and then it's seasoned somehow.
Well, if it's on the menu at a place like that, I'm sure for this long, it must be delicious.
Right. And we were talking about it. It's $10 for a plate of that. And I think a plate of parsley probably costs you 50 cents at the grocery store. So
that's how
the
he's
markup
a billionaire.
is amazing. that's probably how they made all their money.
That's why Warren Buffett's a billionaire. 15,000% return on that.
Exactly.
Jeez.
No more parsley. But yeah, it was really fun, and had a great waitress. Her name was Misc, I believe, and she was really fun. She was fairly new working there, and so yeah, it was absolutely packed there, but they did a great job. So anyway, yeah, that was the big outing. I actually went out after dark Saturday.
That's when, and hence back to the beginning of the episode, you saw your Christmas lights after dark for one of the very few times this season.
And that's what made me think, only one more week.
I love how all these episodes get tied into a nice little bow at the end.
Bring it back around. Bring it back around. There you go. Yeah.
You guys, like we had said at the beginning, text us at 402-403-9478. You can also, it's Pat and JT, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Rate, review, and subscribe.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.